Welcome back, students. In this video we will be doing question number 2 part C of May-June 2015 paper 21. This is the continuation of the previous video that I made on 2015 paper 21 question number 2 part A and B that I solved of the control accounts, and now in this video we will be solving part C. So now let's start. So in this we have some additional information that is given, where payments for February are given, such as wages, we paid general expenses, and then we have the opening balances for Feb 2015, and then we have the closing balances for Feb 2015. We have the opening inventory, 9350 is the opening inventory and 188,650 is the closing inventory. Why is it closing? Because it mentioned on the last date of the month which are the closing balances. We have non-current assets at valuation, 18,000 and 17,200. At valuation means that they are mentioned at net book value, not at cost, right? They are mentioned at net book value, they are not mentioned at cost. General expenses owing, it's showing you the accrued general expenses or the payable general expenses at the start of the month and at the end of the month. Okay. So the question is asking us to prepare an income statement for the month of 28th February 2015. So let's start. So when we are preparing an income statement, we'll start with sales, that is the revenue. Okay. Now, so when you are writing sales, you write the total sales, that is the cash sales plus the credit sales. That is 47,800 is the credit sales, and the cash sales is 10,500, which is mentioned in the above data, that is above the part A and B of the question. And the total sales would come to 58,300. Then what we do is that we deduct less cost of sales. There's no sales returns in the question. Less cost of sales. So how do we calculate cost of sales? Opening stock. How much is the opening stock? 9350, just mentioned in the above data. Then we have purchases. How much are the purchases? The purchases are 28,500. The purchases are 28,500, and we'll deduct the purchase returns, that is 3,800. We use the purchase returns when we were preparing the purchase as a control account. If you guys remember, if you have seen the previous part of 2015 paper 21 question 2. If you haven't, you guys can check out that video. It's part 1 of the same paper and same question as well. Okay, so you'll deduct the purchases, and then you will also deduct the closing stock, which is 8650, that's mentioned in the question. So when you deduct the closing stock, you will get the cost of sales, and the cost of sales, if you calculate it, it will amount to how much? 25,400. Now when you deduct cost of sales from sales, you will get the gross profit. That is the profit that you have made on trading, that is entirely trading, that is the selling of the goods that were available for sale. You sold them, and the profit that is made is represented by the gross profit, and that is 32,900. Now apart from the trading profit, that is 32,900, you have also made some other incomes, that is the non-trading incomes. For example, it's represented by how much? It's represented by discount received. It can be commission received as well, but there's no commission received, or maybe rent received, etc., or maybe gain on disposal as well, but these are not mentioned in the question. So you add 910 over here, and then you will total them. It will come to 33,810. Okay, after you have calculated the total income, that is 33,810, you will deduct it from the expenses that are given in the question. How many expenses? You have discount allowed as an expense, then you have bad debts as an expense. Okay, for example, discount allowed would be 2,700, bad debts is 1,800. Then you have depreciation, which is also an expense, but it's a non-cash expense, 800. Then the wages, that are 15,200. Apart from that, you are paying general expenses. Now there's a trick when you are preparing general expenses account, because you have to prepare a T account for general expenses. For example, why am I saying that? Because the payments that you have made for general expenses is 7,900, and then you have an opening accrued and then closing accrued given for general expenses. Okay, so for that it's best that you make a small T account on the side just for your own working. Okay, so if you make a small t account for general expenses to calculate the amount of expense that will be reported in the income statement, so for that it's best that you make a small t account for yourself. So the opening accrued is how much? The opening accrued is 2300, the closing accrued is 1600, and the amount that you have paid for the general expenses is how much? That is represented by 7900. So how much is transferred in the income statement? You have how much? You have 7200. This will be reported in the income statement over here. Now the reason why we haven't reported 7900, instead we have put 7200, is because although you are paying 7900 as an expense for general expenses, that's a payment that you have made, but it won't be recorded as an expense. Why? Because now listen to this very carefully. Okay, so instead of reporting 7900, you are reporting 7200 as an expense, and the reason is simple. It's because there is an accrued that is standing at the start and at the end of the year. ये बात आप मेरी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग, आप ये मेरी याद कर लें, इस बात को समझ लें. ये बच्चे बड़ा कंफ्यूज रहते हैं इसमें कि एक्सपेंस उतना ही रिपोर्ट होता है जितना कि वो एक्चुअल में है, और इस साल का एक्सपेंस 7900 नहीं है बल्कि 7200 है. उसकी वजह ये है कि ऑल्दो आपने पे तो किया 7900, राइट, लेकिन 7900 के अंदर से आपने 2300 का एक्सपेंस, 2300 का एक्सपेंस लास्ट ईयर का पे किया है. वो इस साल का था ही नहीं, वो तो लास्ट ईयर का था, आपने इस साल पे किया जो कि इंक्लूडेड है इसके अंदर. प्लस आपने 1600 का एक्सपेंस अभी भी पे करना बाकी है जो कि क्लोजिंग अक्रूड आपके पास 1600 अपीयर हो रहा है. तो ये भी, तो इससे हमें ये साबित होता है कि 2300 इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द एक्सपेंस फॉर लास्ट ईयर दैट हैज बीन अनपेड, एंड यू आर पेइंग इट दिस ईयर. ऑल्दो यू आर पेइंग इट दिस ईयर, बट इट इज नॉट दिस ईयर्स एक्सपेंस, hence you will deduct it. Similarly, you will add 1600 because it is this year's expense that is still not paid. So you will come to a figure that is 7200, which is representing this year's expense. So remember that expense उतना ही होगा जितना कि वो एक्चुअल में है, ना कि जितना हम उसको पे कर रहे हैं. भले हम कम पे कर रहे हैं, ज्यादा पे कर रहे हैं, एक्सपेंस उतना ही रिपोर्ट होगा इनकम स्टेटमेंट में जितना वो एक्चुअल में है. ठीक है जी, जैसा कि हमने 1600 पे नहीं किया मगर हमने इसको ऐड किया. सिमिलरली 2300 जो था वो लास्ट ईयर का था जो इस साल पे हुआ, मगर वो इस साल का एक्सपेंस था ही नहीं, इसलिए हमने इसको डिडक्ट किया. सो ये कॉन्सेप्ट स्टूडेंट्स, यू नीड टू नो दिस वेरी केयरफुली एंड जस्ट डोंट रट्टाफाई इट. ओके जी, not supposed to rote learn it. Okay, so if you add all the expenses up, you will get a total of how much? You'll get a total of 27,700. Okay, and if you deduct it from the total income, that is 30,810, you'll get a profit for the year, which is your net profit as well. How much? That will come to 6,110. So that is the profit for the month, and hence you'll get 6 marks for your answer. Moving on, it says state 2 benefits to Arden of using ICT in his bookkeeping and accounting. So ICT is basically information technology. So obviously information technology is various. It will increase the efficiency, it will increase productivity. Okay, it will increase efficiency, more productivity, and it will be more accurate in terms, because obviously labor might make mistakes as compared to machine. Okay, plus there is more security of data. You have more security of data, less chances of fraud. Okay, then you have more speed, then you have large storage capacity. So these are the advantages that you have to express them. Okay students, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time with question 3 of May June 2015 paper 21. Till then, take care.